gonna, I guess I'm joining with the computer audio. So I got having some tech issues, guys. So when it comes down to your content, when you're connecting with people, when you're able to actually build that relationship with folks, then you're going to be able to actually know whether or not they care about what you're saying. Or if it's important for what you have to get across to people, that you know exactly if they're connecting with your content, what's the next action after that. If you're not driving them to the next step, then something's off. So in order to have the data and know exactly what you're looking at, you need to know exactly where people are going to and what exactly you have them moving towards. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to actually start to let things fall through the cracks. You're going to leave money on the table. You're not going to know where things are at, where they're going. So wanted to share with you, there's Facebook Live, but I'm going to come over here really quick. I want to show you some stuff when it comes to some very cool ways to pull data. And when it comes to social media, you've got multiple platforms. And when it comes down to even some of the ads that we're running right now, I want to just kind of pull up in this ad right here and show you that when it comes to your stuff, you don't need an ungodly amount of money to get in front of a whole bunch of folks. I almost said ungodly, but you don't need a ton of money to get in front of the right people. Okay, and if your content connects with folks, then fantastic. If it doesn't, then man, you know what? Yeah, all right. So literally, without less than a penny, we've per playthrough, we've had 9,000 playthroughs in the last 5 days, and there's a reason for that. We haven't even crossed over 16 bucks, and there's a reason for this type of ad to go out in front of everything because it blazes the trail, and if you can actually follow it up and remarket and retarget with ads, and what I mean by that is that you can actually put different type of content to push people closer to the goal of what you want them to get towards if they're coming through on the content. So it's really cool to be able to connect with folks with related things that genuinely help them out. So if you're over here if you're trying to figure out exactly what really truly is your best way to determine if people are interested in what you're doing is if they're engaging with it. It's not massively complicated at all. You just gotta know what to look for. Likes, comments, different shares on it. Yes, those do not matter if they don't relate to the sales. Don't get it twisted. But when it comes down to your content, if people are behaving in a certain way to it, but yet it's not getting to the goal, they're interacting with it a certain way. So tweak it, adjust it. You don't need to go and overhaul and gut it out and do some other stuff. You need to actually double down on stuff that's working, improve it. So that way you can actually further the conversation with folks, and while also saving yourself some time. If you haven't checked out anything that I've posted on the channel yet, you're going to want to go to WordPressmedia.com /1. Well, I'll just drop it down. It's 1-hour-result, 1 hour result. So you want to go there and check out the training because the framework that I've got there breaks down the content exactly how it should be, but also too. See, this is an account that is going to be going towards not iPhones, but towards memberships and some lower hanging fruit. So being able to connect with folks, we're actually going to be like my sweet spot for this profile. We're overhauling it right now. Is going to be right here, which we're kind of okay, but we're going to definitely cut this out right here. So that shows me that maybe something kind of got out of whack to where now I need to actually improve it a little bit to adjust it. And so that's where even on Pinterest, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping around all over the place, but Pinterest, if you guys have any questions as I'm bouncing around, let me know. And let's see. Okay, we don't have anybody. Yeah. All right. So coming over here, exactly, this is the total audience, but also my engaged audience, people that are looking at things. And so these are this right here, because I've had this account, my personal Pinterest account has been sitting here for probably 6 months, better part of 6 months. And we're right at 600,000 monthly viewers right now. And this account's just been sitting here just that way we can actually grow it and not have to just let it sit there and collect dust, but it's been growing on its own. And there's a strategy that we deploy with that. And it's really cool because the interest, like the audience, like the demographics are pretty much off for what I want to hit. But now that we've got growth going back into it and we're starting to hit some upward trends, now we can start to adjust that and actually pivot the momentum and the exposure into sales, because there's a certain way you can do that without being a little bit weird about it, without trying to go crazy with it. But you don't need to spend a ton of money either. A lot of folks think that you have to spend a lot of money to get a lot of exposure, which you really don't. But you don't want us to get stuck in the exposure part of it because you want to actually convert that over to sales. Let's go over here to videos. So one of the videos that we just kicked it off, you can see it's starting to spike up. We're going over here. So this is actually the pin that we got. I really hope y'all can hear me on this video because I hope I'm not spending this time in vain. So if you guys want to go check out the further training on it, there's the, I don't know why it's highlighting WordPress Media like that. So strange. All right. So you can see that we've got some couple of click links, but also too, the average watch time is 12 seconds. So out of a 36-second video, people are watching it for 12 seconds. And so what that tells me is that I need to start creating even more videos for 10 seconds, 12-second little blurbs, little blips, not blurbs, but little excerpts and blips. That's what happens when you're trying to say blips and excerpts at the same time to come out with blurbs. But with excerpts, so that way I can actually understand exactly what they're watching. On this video right here is 8 seconds, but the average is 12 seconds. So, well, hang on. Yeah. So sometimes it'll say it over here. So 8 seconds is the average time over here. So that works out well. All right. So we're going to adjust some of that and get it in front of the right people and promo this puppy and get it rocking and rolling. But you can see that these are some different data points as well, that when it comes down to even the overview, the different types of audience insights, social media itself as a platform has data that you can analyze and actually improve on. And so you can see, like, with the 9,000 playthroughs, I wonder how many people click through it on it. You know, see, like, it just jumped up a little bit. So you've got, I think, 103 people that click through on the links. So I can go back to my corresponding websites and look at, I've had 102 people click through on this in 5 days. Cool. So how does that translate over to revenue? Have anyone converted yet? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. But I wanted to jump into here so that way you can kind of get an idea of things to look for on some of the stuff that when it comes to social media directly on the platform itself, you don't need to overcomplicate it. There are great tools out there like SEMrush, there's Funnelytics. I mean, there's so many different things that are out there to analyze traffic and, higher level traffic as far as when it comes to multiple channels going into one source. So you can really check that out. I mean, Google Analytics has a phenomenal dashboard, so you know exactly where things are going to and from, but bringing them all together is another ball of yarn itself. So hopefully this helps out. I help shed some light on some things so that way you can kind of get a better idea of what to look for when it comes to social media content and what's really working, so that way you're not spinning your wheels. Talk to you soon. Do, 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 do.